Hello everyone, welcome to today's session of physics class. This is Aslam Sharif and I will be dealing with solid state physics paper 6 for you people for this semester. Let's start our session. As you can see on the screen, we have clearly mentioned the paper title as solid state physics and we will be going ahead with the unit 1 chapter 1 crystal structure. So what are we going to cover here? First, let's go ahead with the introduction. In introduction, we'll be saying what is the aim of solid state physics, what is solid state physics and why to it required, and what are the content in it and the reference books we will be checking. So the aim of solid state physics clearly say that the solid state physics explains the property of material as found on Earth. It can be in solid as well as liquid state form because liquid state why we are mentioning means it is a part of condensed physics. So that's the reason we are calling it again it is dependent on liquid form also. The property are expected to follow from Schrodinger equation for a collection of atomic nuclei and electrons interacting with electrostatic forces. So the fundamental laws governing the behavior of solids are known and well tested. So the crystalline solids. What is crystalline solids and what we are going to discuss? So we will be dealing with crystalline solids, that is solid with an atomic structure based on regular repeated pattern. What do you mean by regular repeated pattern? That means if you're taking a solid, any crystal, that each pore site is continuously repeating itself in periodic manner. That is what we are calling a regular repeated pattern. So many important solids are from the crystalline sites. So more progress has been made in understanding the behavior of crystalline solids than that of non-crystalline material, since the calculation are easier in crystalline materials. What is solid state physics? Solid state physics is also known as condensed matter physics. It is a study of the behavior of atoms when they are placed in close proximity to one another. So in fact, condensed matter physics is much better name since many of the concepts relevant to solids are also applied to liquids. So what is the point of discussing this? Understanding the electrical property of solid is right at the heart of modern society and technology. The entire computer and the electronic industries relies on turning of a special class of material, the semiconductor, which lies right at the metal insulator boundary. Solid state physics provide a background to understand what goes on in semiconductors. So we can go ahead with the topic, and these are the few references books that if you wish to go ahead by yourself, you can go ahead. What all things we are going to cover in Unit 1, Chapter 1, Crystal Structure, that is the introduction to solid state physics, classification of solid, crystal structure, space lattice, and basis and crystal structure. These are the topics that we are going to cover in today's class. So what is our objective behind taking the session and what we are going to learn from today's class? So by the end of this session, you should be able to identify a unit cell in a symmetrical pattern, know how these are seven possible unit cell shapes are available, and to be able to define cubic, tetragonal, orthorhombic, hexagonal unit cell shapes. So we know we have been discussing solid state physics, condensed matter physics. The term physics, what do you mean by the physics? The physics is a branch of science which deal with matter and its phenomena. So matter usually exists in the solid state and fluid state. By mean of fluid state, we mean to say that this is further classified into two types, that is liquid and gaseous state. So the study of physical property of atomic matter in the solid is also termed as solid state physics. As you know, nowadays we are openly calling this as physics of condensed matter. So the solid are basically classified into three types. What all those means? First, crystalline solids. Second, amorphous solid. And the third one is polycrystalline solid. So what is crystalline and what is amorphous solid and what is polycrystalline? We will be checking in next slide. So as you can see, the solid materials are classified into three types and the clearly images here showing that single crystal, polycrystalline, and amorphous. That is nothing but non-crystalline. So as you can see, these are the example of crystal, polycrystalline and amorphous crystal. The crystalline solid, we'll go ahead with first. The crystalline solid is a solid form of a substance that we have already discussed. They are regularly repeating it themselves. So they are arranged properly so that each edge will repeat itself in a definite repeating pattern. Single crystal identically have high degree of order or regular geometric periodicity throughout the entire volume of the material. As you can see, these are the one-dimensional diagrammatic explanation, whereas you can see the crystalline form, they are combined together. And the third one, as you can see, the actual structure that we can see from our eyes. A crystalline solid or single solid has an atomic structure that repeats periodically across its whole volume, even at infinite length scale. Each atom is related to every other equivalent atom in the structure by translational symmetry. As you can see in the diagram, the first one dimensional, all the molecules, ion or atom, whatever you wish to call, because crystal basically depend on this three. So this we will be seeing that they are arranged. In second one, we are finding in a cubical arrangement. That is our three-dimensional. And the third one, which we are finding diagram here, that clearly show how the structure will look like. So as we know that they are classified in polycrystalline solid also. Polycrystalline solid are one when atom or molecules in a solid are arranged in irregular fashion with well-defined bound. So a solid is said to be crystal if constituent particles such as atom, ion, molecules are arranged in three-dimensional periodic manner. The regularity in the appearance in the crystal found in nature lead us to believe that crystals are formed by regular repetition of identical building blocks in three-dimensional space. The study of the geometric form and other physical property of crystalline solid by using X-ray, electron beam, etc. are possible. That is called the science of crystallography. So polycrystalline is a material made up of aggregate of many small single crystals, also called as crystallites or grains. Polycrystalline material have high degree of order over many atomic or molecular dimensions. These order region or single crystal region vary in small size and orientation on with respect to one another. These regions are called as grains. That means we are calling a small domain, as you can see in our third diagram. So one grain we are taking and we are finding that the grain is subdivided into small form of zones. Those zones we are calling as domains and are separated from one another by grain boundaries. So the atomic order can vary from one domain to next. The grain are usually found in 100 nanometer to 100 micron in diameter. So you can imagine the nanometer means 10 per minus 9 we are saying. So 10 per minus 9 to 100 micron in diameter. Polycrystals with grain that are less than 10 nanometer in diameter are called nanocrystallines. So let's go ahead with some comparison of crystalline and amorphous solid. So crystalline solid or crystalline material have regular arrangement of atom. As you can see, each atom are arranged in a periodic manner and they are repeating themselves. Whereas amorphous material have random arrangement. You can see in the diagram that they are randomly arranged. They are not periodically arranged as we have seen in crystalline material. The crystalline material have very sharp melting point, whereas amorphous do not have sharp melting point. The crystalline material have different property in different direction. That means they will vary their behavior. Whereas amorphous substances are isotropic in nature, which means all the physical property which have the same value when measured in different directions. The cooling curve of crystalline substance has a break. As you can see in the diagram, we are taking a diagram with time and temperature. When we are plotting a cooling curve surface with the help of time and temperature, we are observing that the crystalline structure is showing some break. That is due to the melting point. So at A and B point, we are finding there is a break in the curve. Whereas the cooling curve of amorphous substance is smooth. You can see in the second diagram here. So crystalline substance have long range order of interaction, whereas amorphous material have short range limited to few atomic distances. So the example of crystalline structure we can take as silicon, germanium, sodium chloride, diamond, or we can even take sugar. As we know that the crystal sugar, if we are taking it, they are repeatedly what do we call that, rearranged or following the same order. So if you check from first edge to the second edge, third and fourth by marking as A, B, C, D, you will be getting that they are repeatedly following the same regular fashion. They are not in irregular order. Whereas if you go for amorphous, we will be taking the glass, rubber, plastic, polymer, gel, etc. are the example. Why we are calling as rubber example for amorphous? So if you might have seen the tire of your bike or car, they are randomly uh, manufactured. So there won't be any smooth surface which is getting repeated. So they'll be having some doubts there, something in between build. So those are the reason we will be taking the example for amorphous solid. So most of the solid matters actually are in crystalline state because nature favor the crystalline state of solids. This is because the energy of order atomic arrangement by means of energy of ordered atomic arrangement we are, let us take the example of sugar. If we are taking the example of sugar, they are orderly arranged, whereas if we are taking an example of some rock, they are irregularly arranged. So the orderly arranged pattern will be having more energy compared to that of irregular arrangement. So that's the reason nature support crystalline solids. So let's go ahead with the next one, that is space lattice. By means space lattice, what we want to discuss, we'll go ahead with that. So in a perfect crystal, to represent the periodicity, that means repetitive, continuously going on of atom, it is convenient to imagine point in space are called lattice point. So a space lattice can be defined as an array of lattice points in space such that the environment about each point is same. So why we are calling that the environment at each point is same? Take the example again of sugar crystal. So if you see each edge of sugar crystal, then you will find that each side the lattice point that we are calling is the same. It's not changing. That is why we are calling the space lattice is an array of lattice point such that the environment about each point will remain same. So if all the atoms of the lattice point are identical, that means repetitive pattern again. The lattice is called as Bravais lattice. So we have discussed about the structure of regularly arranged and irregularly arranged, such as crystal, amorphous, and polycrystalline. So when we are discussing so much of crystal, crystalline, amorphous, polycrystalline, these all will be coming under the classification or the basic, the broader figure if we say crystallography. So crystallography, what is crystallography? The branch of science that deals with the geometrical description of crystal and their internal arrangement. As you can find in the diagram, this is one type of crystal arrangement, this is another type one, this is another type one. So these are the example of crystallography. So what we are going to learn from the crystallography. So the basic knowledge of crystallography is essential for solid state physicists. Why it is essential and how it is going to help. This will help us to specify any crystal structure. That means whether it's a simple, cubic, tetragonal, trigonal. In that way, in what way, pentagonal, orthorhombic, we will be specifying that. And we are using this to classify the solid in different types according to the symmetry they possess. Then again, monoclinic, triclinic, these are the symmetry that they'll be posing. So accordingly, we will be getting them. So symmetry of crystal can have a profound influence on its property. That means based on the structure, whenever we are going to check, they will be having some influence. Based on that, the property of the crystal can be identified. We will concern in this course more about solid with simple structures. So let us see what is crystal lattice. Crystal lattice is an infinite array of points in space. As you can see, these points 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that, there are infinite points arranged in space. So each point has identical surrounding. As you can see here, B, C, O, A. This is one point. Then another point we can see that C, G, some E or A. Okay, in that way we can go ahead with each. If you check the unit point or the cube point here, we will be finding it. They are identical surrounded one. So they are. That is the reason we are saying that each point has identical surrounding to all others. So array are arranged exactly in periodic manner. So as we can see, they are repeating themselves after each short interval. So here, this point is starting point. If we consider, this is one line, and second line, third line, fourth line, again repeating. So the array are arranged exactly in periodic manner. So let's go ahead. Based on that, the crystal structure is formed only when a group of atoms or molecules is attached identically to each other, as we have seen in previous slide. So this group of atoms, basically, that is nothing but molecules or ion, is called basis. Or we can describe in the simplest way as set of one or more atoms about a lattice point is called a basis. So the crystal is formed when basis of atom is attached identically to each lattice point. So how it is going to attach? The crystal structure can be obtained by attaching atom, group of atom or molecule, which we call just now as basis to the lattice side of the point. So we are taking the complete crystal structure. Let us say this is our complete crystal structure. So this is our lattice point. As you can see here, lattice, crystal lattice is small dot that we are calling as a lattice point. And the basis is having two molecules like. So this lattice point plus basis are joining together to form a crystal structure. The crystal structure do not mix the atom with the lattice point. As we know that the atom consists of neutron, proton, electron, those. So lattice points are the point which will be repeating themselves. They are not the atom. So lattice point are infinitesimal point in space. It can be anywhere. Lattice point do not necessarily lie at the center of the atom. It can be anywhere. Just now I mentioned. So that is what we are saying, the crystal structure. The crystal structure is nothing but the crystal lattice plus basis. If we are combining together the lattice point and the basis, we will be getting the crystal structure. That's all for today. If you have any question, you can get back to me. Thank you.